Hello everybody and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we got a pretty light week for you guys. I think we only have 2 first appearances, 4 honorable mentions, so only 6 titles all to go through, but there's definitely some books in there to consider for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearance of the week, ending July 4th, 2025. First up from Marvel Comics, Captain America #1. This features the first appearance of David Colton. This also features the origin of Captain America and Dr. Doom's first meeting. Now, like we always tell you guys, typically worth picking up the first appearance of new characters in Marvel Comics. Marvel Disney is still churning out a ton of media for small screen, big screen, and you really don't know where they're going to pull characters for the screen. If they pull them out of this particular issue, this David Colton character, you're definitely going to wish you owned this at the cover price. Now, this here issue also features the origin of Captain America and Dr. Doom's first meeting. You know, with Marvel Disney pushing Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, you know, they're really going to be pushing Dr. Doom going into the future. So it may be worth having the origin of Captain America and Dr. Doom's first meeting. So this issue here does have quite a few things going for it. This one we do think you should pick up for your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. And finally from Marvel Comics, X-Men Hellfire Vigil #1. This features the first appearance of Faraha, daughter of Storm and Wolverine. Now this here is just an anthology of stories from the creators of the X-Men Hellfire Gala era. A lot of times these anthology of stories aren't necessarily important to the overall universe going forward, but this here does have the first appearance of Storm and Wolverine's daughter. That might be a big deal. Like I mentioned to you guys in previous videos, Marvel Disney have the cinematic rights to the X-Men again, so you could definitely expect a lot of X-Men content in the future on the big screen and small screen. You really don't want to miss out on any of these first appearances. If they pull these characters from the comics onto the screen, these are books you definitely want to own at the cover price. They will blow up in the secondary market, so you don't want to chase them down years later for a lot more money. This one here, another one we do think you should pick up for your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. And now for the honorable mentions. From Marvel Comics, Bring On the Bad Guys Green Goblin #1. This features the origin of Sister Sorrow. This also introduces the Soul Forge to the mainstream Marvel Comics continuity. Now, we mentioned this before, origin stories aren't necessarily as heavily collected as they used to be. A lot of collectors just go after the first appearances. And often back in the day, collectors would also go after these books that brought characters from one-shots into the mainstream Marvel Comics continuity, because that definitely gave them a little bit more staying power, definitely got a lot more eyes on those characters. Now, it's not the first appearance of those characters, it's just the first time they brought those characters into the mainstream continuity. Now this one here, like I said, given the fact that origin stories aren't necessarily heavily collected now, and a lot of collectors don't really care about when characters are brought into the continuity, this one here is definitely going to be speculative. But you know, just because collectors don't really care about those factors right now, doesn't mean they won't in the future. In my opinion, probably still worth picking up for the cover price. So this one here will definitely be speculative, but probably worth picking up. Grab this here for a spec if you can. Next up from Marvel Comics Fantastic Four Bookazine #1. Now this here is an illustrated origin of the Fantastic Four by Alex Ross. This is published specifically for newsstand retail sales, at stores that sell magazines, and on Amazon. Now this one here just reprints Fantastic Four #60 from 2002, Fantastic Four #570 from 2009, and Fantastic Four #1 from 2022. Now the stories inside aren't necessarily as important as the fact that this here is illustrated by Alex Ross. Anytime Alex Ross does just a variant cover for any of the Marvel titles, those are a huge deal. They sell at a huge premium in the secondary market. Alex Ross has an incredibly large fan base and collector base. So the fact that this entire origin story has been illustrated by Alex Ross, this one here is definitely worth picking up and owning. And also the fact that this here is published specifically for newsstand sales. This here is not going to be a distributor direct straight to comic shops. This here is just going to be for newsstand sales and on Amazon. So that's probably going to create a lower print run and definitely going to limit where you can buy this particular book. So this one here has quite a few things going for it. Just for the sheer fact alone that Alex Ross illustrated this, probably worth owning. This one here is one we do think you should pick up for your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. Next up from Image Comics, Gehenna Naked Aggression #1. Now this here is the premiere issue of this new mini-series. There's a contract out for Gehenna, but she's managed to stay alive long enough that the contract has been resold several times as consolidated debt between criminal organizations. Now she intends to put a stop to that chain of custody on that contract. Now this here is supposed to be a non-stop action story inspired by Gun Honey and Elektra Assassin. Now the reason we put this on the list is because it has been inspired by Gun Honey. That franchise, that title series, hugely popular, huge fan base, huge collector base, and if this here is anything like Gun Honey, this will probably be picked up an option as well. If this does get option, you could definitely expect the price on this to jump in the secondary market, and it does sound like it could easily lend itself to a screen, and the fact that they are drawing inspiration from Gun Honey seems like that's why they're writing it, in hopes that it will get option and hit the screen. So this one here will definitely be speculative, but sounds like a great spec. Grab this here for a spec if you can. And finally from AWA Upshot, Illuminati number 1. Charlemagne the God presents a dark conspiracy tale that shines a light on the most enduring conspiracy of our day. Lily, an aspiring musician, comes to Los Angeles to bury her sister Jackie, a rising pop star who died from a drug overdose. But Lily knows that there is more to Jackie's death than meets the eye. Embarking on an investigation that takes her on a tour of the dark underbelly of the music industry, Lily uncovers a centuries-old conspiracy that grants fame and fortune at a terrible price. The Illuminati are real, and Lily is about to learn that the world above is the same as the world below, and the power she needs to offset their gravitational pull just might come from the darkness she fears. Now this one here sounds like it can easily lend itself to a small screen, big screen project, and AWA Upshot has had a lot of attention on their titles recently, and I think they have had quite a few things optioned in the past. I don't know if any of them have made it to the screen, but like we mentioned to you guys before, just being option alone is enough to drive the price in the secondary market. Now the main reason we put this on the list is because the attachment of Charlemagne the God. The fact that he put his name on this, the fact that this is a Charlemagne the God Presents title series, this one here is probably going to be a huge deal, probably going to get a lot of attention for Hollywood. You know, Charlemagne the God, hugely popular celebrity, has a lot of followers, a lot of fans, so I'm sure he's going to be pushing this title. And like I said, probably will get attention from Hollywood, has a great potential to be picked up in option. So in my opinion, probably worth picking up, sounds like another great spec to me. Grab this here for a spec if you can. So there you have the 6 titles that we have for you guys this week. There's definitely some books in there you guys should pick up for your collection. So please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. As always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.